Before kings forged empires, before temples were crowned in gold, there was only the earth, dark, silent, eternal. And from its depths came a whisper, a glimmer in the stone, a promise of power. But that glimmer was not divine light, it was a reflection of the underworld. Every vein of gold, every gem torn from the mountain's heart, was believed by the ancients to be the blood of the dead, the residue of souls long buried, hardened and silent beneath the soil. They called it Pluto's wealth, but in truth, it was the breath of Hades. For in the old world, the Greeks believed that all wealth came from below, that to take from the earth was to make a pact with the unseen. The deeper one dug, the closer one came to the throne of the Lord of Shadows himself. They feared him. They spoke his name only in whispers. Hades, the unseen one. A god not of malice, but of inevitability. He did not demand worship, only silence, for he already owned all souls in time. And yet, mankind, in their hunger for beauty and power, pierced his realm again and again. Each strike of the pickaxe echoed like a heartbeat in the dark, and the earth, ancient, patient, began to remember their names. What they did not know was that every coin, every crown, every jeweled chalice carried with it a curse, a whisper from the underworld. For gold, though radiant, was never pure. It bore the weight of sorrow, the chill of tombs, and the silence of graves. And so the ancients said, those who love gold love death. They believed wealth is not found in the heavens, it is birthed in darkness, and all who reach for it reach into the underworld. In the shadows of the earth, he sits, silent, patient, eternal. They call him Hades, the unseen one, a god not of chaos, but of order unending. He does not rage like Poseidon, nor thunder like Zeus. His realm is not lit by sun or flame, but by the soft golden glow of the minerals buried in darkness. They called him Pluton, the wealth giver, for though he ruled the land of the dead, it was said that all fortune flowed from his domain. The Greeks knew a truth the world has forgotten, that the harvest grows because the seeds die, that the gems shine because they rest in graves, that life itself is nourished by death. And so they feared him, and they honored him, not with temples that reached the sky, but with quiet offerings poured into the ground, honey, wine, and black ram's blood, for all things buried were his to claim. To speak his name was to invite stillness, to mine his gold was to trespass in his realm. Yet mankind could not resist. The promise of wealth shimmered like a flame in the dark, and mortals chased it, even into the jaws of the earth. Hades watched. He did not punish. He did not bless. He simply waited, for every man who coveted gold was already walking toward him. His realm needed no army, no war, no wrath, no rebellion, only time. And so the ancients told their children, do not envy the rich, for their gold glows only by the light of the underworld. For each coin was a promise, each jewel a reflection, that all things beautiful come from beneath the veil. To honor Hades was to understand the balance of existence. To defy him was to forget that every treasure has a grave. But mankind's hunger for gold could not be sated. They dug deeper, built higher, and worshipped wealth more than the gods themselves. And with every coin minted, they brought the underworld closer to the surface. Man is never content with what is given. From the first spark of fire to the last breath of kings, we have always reached for more. Gold became our promise, our God, our doom. The ancients warned, to reach for gold is to touch the hand of death. But no warning was enough, for even the wisest hearts are tempted when the darkness glitters. They told the tale of King Midas, a man blessed by Dionysus for his kindness and cursed by his desire. He wished that all he touched would turn to gold, and the gods, with cruel mercy, granted it. Soon, his palace blazed like the sun, his gardens gleamed with metal leaves. He laughed until hunger came, until thirst came, until he held his daughter and felt her heartbeat turn to cold metal in his arms. He begged to undo his gift, to wash away the curse, and as the river cleansed his hands, its waters turned to gold, for even his repentance had a price. The story spread like a shadow across the world. Miners whispered it as they dug into the mountain's heart. They said they could hear the whispers in the stone, voices of the dead calling them deeper. Some vanished into the dark and were never found. Others returned with eyes that gleamed like molten gold, but their souls were hollow. Because wealth does not come freely, it demands a sacrifice, the soul of the one who covets it most. The ancients believed that every ounce of gold demanded a life in return, that the mines which glittered brightest were watered with blood. Empires rose on that blood. Pharaohs filled their tombs with it. Kings wore it upon their brows like halos of arrogance. And when death came, as it always does, Hades smiled, for every crown forged was already his. And so, when death came to claim what was his, mankind learned to pay his toll. A single coin placed upon the tongue, a final offering to the unseen king. For even in death, gold remained the language of the soul. Beyond the final breath, beyond the flicker of mortal flame, lies the river Styx, the boundary between the living and the dead. There, in the endless fog, waits a figure older than kings, silent, unmoving, eternal. They called him Charon, the ferryman of the underworld. His task, to carry the souls of the departed across the dark waters to their eternal rest. But Charon demanded payment, a single coin placed upon the tongue of the dead. Without it, the soul was left to wander the banks forever, a whisper lost between worlds. And so, gold became more than wealth. It became the last prayer of mankind. From the poorest beggar to the richest king, all were equal in his gaze. Charon cared nothing for titles or crowns, only for the coin, the proof that the living still remembered their dead. But what irony, that even in death, the soul must pay. The ancients placed coins upon the eyes of the fallen, so that they might see their way through darkness. They slipped gold into folded hands, believing it would buy them safe passage into eternity. And so, as the world grew richer, so too did the underworld. Each empire that rose upon the spoils of greed paid its tithes in silence, coin by coin, soul by soul. In time, the poets wrote, "All rivers flow downward, and every treasure returns to Hades. For gold does not shine in the sun, it glows most fiercely in the dark. And in the ferryman's palm, its light flickers like memory, the last warmth of a life long gone." Perhaps that is why they, the ancients, buried their dead with coins and jewels, not to send them into wealth, but to bribe the darkness itself. For even in death, mankind cannot stop buying its way home. But what if the ferryman's toll was not only for the dead? What if every treasure, every empire, every man who sought to own the light of gold was already paying his price in life? For perhaps the true cost of wealth is not what we spend, but what we lose to earn it. The ancients feared the underworld, but they also understood it. They knew that all light casts a shadow, and that to love the world's beauty is to embrace the soil that nourishes it, the soil of the dead. We, who walk above the earth, have forgotten this truth. We strip the mountains bare, we pierce the heart of the planet for her treasures, and we call it progress. But perhaps the ancients were right. Perhaps every jewel, every coin, every glimmer of gold is not wealth at all, but memory, the memory of what was buried, of all that once lived, now turned to stone and light. and they came to the conclusion that Hades, the unseen king, was never the villain they feared. He was the keeper, the silent balance, the patient reminder that what is taken must one day be returned. For the gold we hold so dearly will one day rest in another's hands. Our names will fade, our empires will crumble, and the treasures we guarded will sink again into the dust, back to the underworld. And when that time comes, perhaps Hades will smile once more, for the world will have remembered its debt. For the true curse of gold is not in its weight, but in its power to bind the heart. It blinds kings, corrupts empires, and steals the breath of the humble. The ancients warned us, those who love gold love death. Yet we keep digging, searching for the light in the deepest dark, never seeing that the deeper we reach, the closer we come to our own graves. So remember this, the earth gives, but it never forgets. Every treasure you hold was once a promise to the underworld. And when the last light fades, you too will return to the depths, to the silence that waits beneath all things. For wealth is a circle, and every coin eventually finds its way home.